Hello and welcome back to Closed Circuit Sports. I am Drew Goldman, and this is Whiteland Raceway Park again, back home, running in our Birel 206, the Ghost racing engine motor on it. This is just a practice day. This is a benchmark test. This is the most professional testing opportunity I think I've had so far, and it was a heck of a day. So what I'm showing you right now is one of the fastest laps that I put down on the layout that we're going to be running this weekend. It was a 2-day test, and NewGen were spectacularly professional. They had my kart ready with my motor on it, ready to go. First thing in the morning, they were like, we're going to go out, set a benchmark, and the one you know. Great. Went and did some work, a few sessions in this, and then they let me test their arrive and drive NewGen 206 chassis. And all of the differences that I could feel were remarkable. I didn't expect it to feel so different. I figured they were going to be two flavors of the same ice cream, so to speak. Not quite. Pretty different. This kart is driven by the rear. That kart is driven from the front. I can't articulate it better than that. The rear on that kart is so much lighter. The seating angle was different. It was more upright, so I felt more secure in the seat for the duration. I felt less effort to steer. All kinds of stuff that, we can bring some of that stuff into setup notes moving forward. But I didn't have anything to compare it to, so let's jump on board with that 206 and the NewGen, the Haase chassis. And see if you can spot the difference.
Okay. First time pulling out on track in the NewGen. Deep throttle.
Yeah, the throttle pedal was different.
Still gotta warm up the tires.
It was much deeper. And the rear was very
There is much
snappy.
more front end, oh my goodness.
Yes, much more front end, and also the rear was just a suggestion.
And the brakes are far more touchy, oh my goodness.
The brakes had no dead zone, that's true.
Why does the engine feel stronger?
The engine felt a little bit stronger, but that's probably because it's theirs. It's one that they trust to run their arrive and drives.
Oh, it's much lighter across the pavement.
It didn't feel like there was as much friction into the pavement. I don't know whether that's less camber, less caster, or both.
Ooh, I feel like I could spin this thing out. What? This is crazy.
Yeah, I don't understand how it could be lighter in the rear while feeling pretty stable up front until it would do that. So, I'm still trying to heat up the tires here. We're going to find the groove here. I gave a slightly longer clip for this one because I don't have the data.
My whole line is changing.
Yeah, my line is changing. I'm trying to find it.
This is interesting.
We don't have the data overlay because this is their Micron. I wasn't able to bring over their telemetry file. And I think that's fine. We can still see it at the bottom. And it gives you more space to see where it moves different. Where it wants to move different. Where it wants to get light is in different places.
Okay.
It's literally like the balance is reversed.
I feel much more firmly in this seat.
It's like the balance was reversed. And that was a very good problem to have to figure out because I'd never had a kart that drove from the front. And if I'm going to be testing this in KA tomorrow, and my Birel as well, they're going to move the same motor, the same rental KA 100 off of my Birel in the morning after we run a few sessions in it. They're going to strap it onto this kart, and we're going to compare.
It just follows.
Yeah, it does seem to just follow better. I'm trying to get the rear of my Birel to be
Oh my
lighter
goodness.
across the pavement. The difference on the timesheet was not much at all. It was only a couple of tenths over the whole weekend between the carts, even with how different they drove. My best time, pulling up the
Okay,
note here.
hang on, here we go. Interesting.
My best time in my Birel in the 206 was a 49.1. My best time, granted you guys didn't get to see the 49.1 I don't think, but it was a different session from the same day. 49.1. 49.0 is the best I found in this cart right here in this configuration with the 206. And at the end of the day, I asked Derek to drive a couple of laps in my Birel. Derek Cutshaw being one of the team bosses for NewGen. And he had a suit out that day, and I was like, hey, could you take it for a spin and let me know what you think? And he was like, I don't see why not. And he took it out and only found about 2/10 on me over the day, but he found it in my chassis, so it was 3/10 total in my chassis.
A second to find, but the ceiling might be higher.
So I'm close to the ceiling for this car.
Let's get it right.
49.1, 48.8. He wasn't giving it... Correction. He was giving it his best. They aren't ideal conditions, so it's not like you can compare these times to race times, because it wasn't a hot track. There's not everybody else on it giving you the dirty air. He was just out running a couple test laps on a green track just like me. But I felt really good that I was within 3/10 of my coach.
Okay, hang on.
With him in my equipment. I was like, okay, so we are developing this. All right, we're going to develop this chassis. We can do that. But it is designed for KA.
Oh my
and
God.
That's the debate. Is whether I should run a Rive and Drive 206 with them and in their chassis and then drive my car in KA with a rental.
Go!
Trying to find the limit now, because it does feel lighter.
Come on.
You hear me just fighting it.
Okay.
So this is only another lap or two, but this was my whole day Saturday, was comparing and contrasting these two chassis and their setups, and trying to find the window on the Birel that we could keep pushing more and more grip into the front and out of the rear. But the problem is, I think it's the seating position. I think the balance is off from the beginning of the year, because we never put it on scales for 206.
Okay, hang on. Here we go.
Since we never put it on scales, we don't know where the weight distribution is. If we don't know where the weight distribution is, there's no way to know whether or not I am leaned too far over that back axle or positioned too close to it, just off rip. Because I think the standard distribution I saw for the Birel is supposed to be 55 to the rear, 45% to the front. I doubt I have that much weight in the front. Seriously. Could be 60-40, could be a little bit worse than that even. With my butt in the seat, could be even worse. So that explains why the rear has always felt so planted and why we haven't been able to change anything about that. Because the seat is fixed. The seat was a hard mount that was done at the beginning of the year, and I was reassured by people who disregarded my concerns at the time, that it wouldn't make enough of a difference for me to notice this early. Okay, well, now I can notice. There's a lot of weight over that back axle, and everybody else who's driven this car has had the same problem with it, so...
God, this feels good.
I know, it did. It did feel good, and I did find a 10th a lap. I was faster in the NewGen, only by a 10th. But that's something, and a 10th over 20 laps is 2 seconds a race. Especially if you're not overheating the rears, and I don't know. It's worth considering. But turning up for Sunday, this was the first time I had ever seen my kart with a KA on it. We had the outboard starter so that they could switch the motor quickly. We didn't want to have it rigged up with the onboard starter and switch all of that over as well. And the motor, the exhaust. Most of this is all one piece. Like they just kind of unbolt it from the motor mount underneath and unstrap the exhaust from the brackets and lift it right out. They were dynoing someone else's 206, but this is more just for a sound comparison. So that's what we were driving yesterday. 10 horsepower, 4-stroke. Runs on gasoline. This is the rental from yesterday, now set up with the KA on it in the afternoon. You'll get to see that one later. You'll get to see how it was when we drove it. But first, we start in mine.
Welcome back. For lap 1 of my ass in a KA. It's a KA on my kart, let me be clear. Gotta do more on the brake. My God, the power. Holy smokes. More brakes, more brakes. Oh my God. Wow. I'm nowhere near the top. I'm having to brake over the tank. I'm not even going my 206 speed yet. That's gonna change on this lap. There it is. Oh my God!
If you are not familiar with KA100, this is a 20 horsepower minimum, 2-stroke, single cylinder, 100cc. Air-cooled. Power plant. And It's terrifying, I gotta be honest, but in the best way. This is the next class up. Just like that, on the third lap, I'm 2 seconds faster than I ever have been in a 206. And it only gets better from here. This kart was so much fun. And the times that we were just able to throw down are just unreal. The acceleration does so much to help you cover ground at this track. That's what these things have in spades, is the pull, the acceleration out of the corner. And that's why you keep hearing that giggle. I think the fastest we went in the 206 here was about 51 or 52. Here, it's gonna be somewhere around 61. It's only 10 miles an hour faster.
Oh my god!
But it'll be about 5 seconds a lap by the end of the day.
Oh, baby!
Just like the day before, they let me do 3 stints in each kart. Actually, the day before they let me do 4, but I was getting a bunch of laps in. I did over 100 laps over the day in the 206s, and then nearly totaled another 100
This is
over
nuts.
the day in this. But they were only letting me do 10 lap stints. So we went out, I think it was 3 times in my kart and 3 times in theirs. And on the last one, they let me get 12 laps in. And I still felt like I had driven my heart out. It wasn't like I felt like I had left anything on the table.
Come on!
It's so much more fun. You're just hanging on for dear life. By the end of the day, I felt like I was a little bit more up on the wheel. It was my kart again. This is the most fun I've ever had driving a kart. Ever.
Come on! Oh my god!
My neck was the first thing that started to complain. Then my forearms, then my core. The rib protector did some work to help. We're gonna very nicely and very politely make our way around Joe here because there wasn't a nice way to squeak through the way that he was taking his line, and not really on the outside, so there we go. I got him here. Thank you. Just a little excuse me. We're back onto another hot lap. 45.1 in our first session out. Remember, 48.8 was the record time that Derek Cutshaw had thrown down yesterday at the end of the day. Just for reference from 206. I was running 49s easily. By the end of the day. This thing was such a handful. Two handsful. But on my chassis was the right way to try it first. They were right to not put me in theirs first.
Yes!
Okay, I felt like I rolled it correctly there and you got that big of a celebration out of me. I just felt like I had finally rolled that corner right with the new power band. And it had me hyped. Should have gone left. Don't know why I didn't.
I should have gone left. Anyway.
Yeah.
That was amazing. Once he moves.
Boy was frazzled. Taking our time going out for round 2. Round 3 I got to run with Jordan, I believe. But
yeah, here, I'm gonna start you
we'll
off,
see.
and I'll push that out of the
You'll
way.
see. I'm getting ahead of myself. Oh.
Thank you!
Alright.
Thanks, Christian. Alright, we're rolling.
I'm glad we're
We're
clear.
going back out.
So I just get to roll out.
The run to. Oh my god!
Alright, here's the data.
No front end yet. Come on.
Big slide. It really feels like you're riding a rocket when this thing takes off.
Woo!
Well, you have to hang on to keep your chin tucked. To keep your head down. It's crazy.
Early. Also, Jordan coming.
But that little G meter in the bottom right is working way harder than it has to in 206. Trying to stop double the power. Trying to control double the exit power.
Damn! Oh, okay. I didn't know.
I thought he was closer. He was still about a corner away.
Ah, go ahead.
This kid was the KA Junior
Tires
champion.
are warm, let's go!
Let's see if I can hang on to him for a little bit here. He's got a smaller header than me, so I better. But he's better, and I know that. This is my first day.
This little guy won juniors this year. Both.
And he won the season.
He's fucking 13. I hope I can hang. Come on.
At least for a little bit before he takes off.
Go, 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 go. Damn! Crazy understeer. Come on, quick, quick, quick. Oh my god! This thing can go flat through there. I don't know about all that. Hello. Come on. Here we go. Okay. That was the best. Come on. Another blast!
That's actually interesting that it showed best on the Micron itself, but then when I exported the data, it was slower by 0.02 of a second. It's kind of crazy. Because it says 8.1 if you look down at it. This is only the second video game vehicle I've gotten to drive.
That was insane. This thing's insane.
Kartcraft and Kart Racing Pro and all those games, they've got plenty of tracks that are great for KA.
Yes, sir.
Kartcraft is my favorite. Jordan's coming out too.
Run through.
And since we're rolling, it's too bad that those guys are there. Oh god. Because we were going to have to pass them anyway, but now we got to try to stay in front of them even though we're warming up our tires. This is going to be messy. I try to let Jordan through. And nope.
That's not who I thought it was. I'm sorry.
It's Joe and his brother. Tom? I think it's Tom. Anyway. I think the blue guy's Tom.
I'm sorry, guys.
I know, I feel so bad because they're like right on my ass. But I need the tires hot or I can't really run. So here we go.
Here we go.
Run away!
Still no fun.
Early at that apex.
Okay, more. There we
Missed
go.
that one. Rolled it pretty well though, so that might be the line. Lugged the engine like crazy out of the south hairpin. Still can't figure out how to keep my foot in it over the crest there without it getting loose. Getting better through the center now. That's my best corner. Second best. Third. Huh. Okay. That's interesting. I guess it makes sense that I'd be stronger in the first half of the lap. But it's really frustrating that by this point, I'm like, I don't know.
Oh, that's so much better.
Throw it.
Well, at least it feels better.
Yeah, it
It's
feels
like the
better.
understeer is slower.
Yeah, we widened the front a little bit. And the rear too, if I remember correctly. Trying to give the front more grip and trying to lighten the rear. The only other video game vehicle I've gotten to drive was a late model, and I got to do a 20-lap
Oh my god.
test drive of that at Lucas Oil Speedway about a year and a half ago now.
The power.
You can check that video out if you'd like. It's on the channel.
Too wide.
The power.
Oh, it's almost flat. Ooh.
So this was the longer final session in my Birel with the KA from the Ghost. Excuse me, from the Ghost.
Damn near popped me out of my seat there. God damn.
The biggest misconception I think I had about karting before I got into it was how much work the kart does for you. It does. But the precision of the command of the kart is literally the most important thing. That's why that kid was able to just wait up for me before doing his in-lap. He's just being nice. Because he knows I'm going to keep going, but he's not.
Damn it!
Oh. Caught a little bit of dirt there, threw me off, and I was like, I was about to be on for a hot lap. And we still might be. Yup. Boom. 44.6.
Woo! Come on! Come
Best
on!
of the day. Best of the weekend. And when we jump into the new gen after this, once they switch the motor over, we end up finding kind of similar vibes to yesterday once we find the groove. About the same, opposite balance, with a tenth the difference at the end of the day. So there's a lot of good data that came out of this weekend. And I really appreciate the team for letting me do it all. Really do it all. And I had so much of the track to myself. There were very few times that there was real company out there with me on Saturday. And then Sunday, there were just enough people to make it feel like a live track, to keep it clean. It was a great weekend. It was nice to be able to do all that driving without any of the pressure of results, besides just knowing that I'm getting everything that I can out of the kart at this point in time. And that's a very different set of expectations. That's some, are you doing your best? And I know whether I'm doing my best at this point. It's just a matter of getting my best up to snuff for next season, so that I can not just hang on until the end of the race anymore, but maybe try to make up a couple more places this year, because every single overtake last year felt so hard-earned. And a number of them were just people going off the track themselves and ending their own races and having mechanical failures that I hate how many of those my brain discards as, well, that wasn't a real pass. Like, I didn't get to pass that guy on track. So I guess we get to try to create more of those this coming season. And this is definitely a class to do it. But, man, this might be a hang on your ass. Yeah, this might be a hang on to your ass kind of class. Especially if you ended up in a field with more than like 20. Ten is usually a good race. 15 can be chaos, but like, hey, maybe everybody has a partner. It gives chances for a couple of people to crash, and it'd still be a race for some. But once you're over like 20,
Bam!
head on a swivel, man. Head on a swivel. Because they're going to be coming from everywhere. No pause. They're going to be everywhere. But in
That's
something like
amazing.
this, I feel like I could at least run away.
44.4.
In 206, I didn't feel
My
like I
best
could
of the
run
day.
anywhere.
Oh my goodness. All right,
Ready?
let's get it.
Thank you,
This
Christian.
is my first round. My first run in a NewGen KA. Here we go.
Thank you to Christian for all the help over the whole weekend. He races
Not
many
wrong
people.
about the brakes.
And some other things.
He said they're going to take a little bit of time to heat up. He was not wrong. Oh my God! Okay. Kristen told me to come in. I don't know why, but we'll find out. Oh, is it kid carts? It might be kid carts right now.
It
It's
wasn't.
like the opposite of Adult Swim.
It was an empty track, and so a kid cart had gone out. I hadn't been told. We hadn't been told. So we thought it was still a little drive. In fact, it was. The kid had panicked.
God,
and
there's
Dad
so
was
much
like
more
trying to
fun.
wave him in, and so the kid went into the grass. So Dad was out there trying to get him, and they all went right back in. They're gonna wait until I got done with mine, but I was like, "Oh, we're good," and they're gonna tell me to go.
Good? Stay? Okay.
Just a little miscommunication, but the kid and his dad were both
The
so
little
sweet
guy is
when I
off the
came in.
track, so we're good. Oh my goodness. Come on,
Of the
brakes.
dad going, "I'm sorry. We got nervous about you being out there with us." And I
Oh
was
my
like,
God.
"No, I didn't mean to scare anybody. You guys
Oh my
go."
God.
And yeah, they were great. It was little dude gave me nugs. It was great.
Shit.
Now I'm trying to figure out how to run this thing toward the top end for the full lap. Because I know I'm leaving a bunch on the table. It's just a matter of trying to keep it pushed closer up against the limit for the length of the lap.
Okay.
It's so light in the rear, I can barely trust this car compared to mine. But on mine, the rear was so planted that I was worried that it wasn't going to turn when I needed it to.
God
This one, I was
damn.
worried it was going to turn everywhere. I hadn't had the chance all year to drive a kart, one of these kind of karts, a competition kart that wasn't mine. That was the whole point of buying my own, was that it would be a known variable that I could control, adjust, and modify over the season. And it was great for that. And it was a great platform to learn with. It still is. And I think we're going to take it up to KA this next year because that's what it was designed for initially. And the lack of flex in that chassis seems to lend itself toward KA. But we're going to see if there's anything specific we got to do in development for it. It might still need more front end. We're definitely going to try to reposition the seat in a more advantageous position for weight distribution.
Alright, come on.
But all of this is in the coming months. This was the most pure day of driving I've gotten to have. While also getting to feel like a professional in a very long time. I would probably shoot. This was a pretty unique experience for me. Getting to race at Daytona was amazing because they did what they could to make you feel like a ProKart rider. And it was great. And it was my first experience doing anything like that at that level at Daytona on the sprint course, and it was a ton of fun. I know. This is different. Electric can't hold a candle to this, but learning electric is the way to start because it's quieter. So the tires are all you hear, and the wind. The tires and the wind.
God damn!
It's the same speeds. But this is so much more intense. And the grip out of the tires, because these are just so much lighter
Come on!
than those blue shot carts were. Man, it's absurd. It just feels absurd when you're driving. If you're used to go-karts, you're not used to this. If you're not even used to go-karts, you have no idea what this feels like. You could only like compare it to a motorcycle. I don't think I'm out of pocket saying that. I know bike guys would be like, it's nothing like riding a bike. Okay. But my ass is an inch off the ground, and I feel like I'm hanging onto a rocket ship. So you tell me if that sounds like a bike to you. No seat belts, no airbags. I love this sport, man. It's been a ton of fun. Can't wait to see what next year brings us. In terms of competition opportunities, in terms of maybe finally getting my license. In terms of maybe finally testing an F600. Or even driving a street stock. We got options. It's just a matter of finding partners now. Getting everything I can out of it. New year hasn't started yet, but the new season already has. Practice 1 is in the books. Practice 2 with Troy, indoor season. It was just this past week that had me sore as hell.
Damn it!
I realized I was out of shape that fast. But we're already getting conditioned again. All those kids at Daytona are running it, so we'll see how soon we get back to it. Thank you so much for joining us here at Closer to Sports for my first KA test and my first real pro kart test weekend. I'm Drew Goldman. See you next season.
Not
Peace.
quite yet.